Great. So now we're going to transition to our sermon today. So as we know, the pastors are in Missouri, and they asked a really special member of our community to prepare to give the sermon today. And I'm so excited that the room is so packed, because you must have heard that David Stein was given the sermon today. I want to do a quick poll in the audience. Who here knows David Stein? Raise your hand if you know David Stein. Okay. So we have about, 60, 70% of people know David Stein. For all those who didn't raise your hands, you're truly going to get to know David Stein today, because he is an incredible pillar of our community. He has evangelized so many people, specifically around connecting and offering really best-in-class events to the youth. I'm talking visiting other churches, going camping, understanding our faith at a deeper level. And even today, he's taking our youth to the water park down the street. I mean, what's cooler than that, right? Absolutely. So is he here to give a sermon about water parks? Maybe not. But David Stein is here today to speak a little bit about purpose, right? And I know personally there's been ups and downs in my life where your purpose is very detached. Or maybe you have times in your life where you really understand who you are. And he's going to talk about the relationship of purpose to being present. So I'd like you all to affix your eyes to the stage and be present to welcoming David Stein today to give the sermon. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good morning! Wow! Okay. Well, my name is David Stein, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So, before I start speaking, I just wanted to do a quick activity and ask anyone who's comfortable to take your phone, disconnect from our Wi-Fi, and put it in airplane mode, if you want. Because at this moment, I'm disconnected, right? This is just a plastic device now, right? I'm not connected. I'm not on the Wi-Fi, and I'm in airplane mode. I'm 30,000 feet up. Come with me. All right? So turn your phones, and then if you're comfortable, I want everyone to take just a deep breath together. We're going to breathe in through our nose. Fill your lungs. Keep going. That's amazing. No one coughed. When I first started breathing like that. Let's try again. And then close your eyes and feel your mind reaching out to your spirit. Ready? Let's breathe in through our nose. And then last thing, take your hands and just reach like a good stretch. Reach up. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So I've been going through quite a lot in my life recently, and I'm still right. We're always learning, always growing, and so I'm in the process. I'm processing right now things that are going on in my life and who I am and these different kinds of values and metrics, and I want to share with you today a slice, right, of what I'm going through, and hope we can connect together to it. So for my birthday, my wife knows me well enough to not buy me a book, so she got me a magazine, right? We've been together for 16 years. We have 5 kids, and she's a Sunday school teacher, so she's with the younger ones, I think 4 to 8, and so this is published by Time Magazine. And it's the science of happiness, right? The science of happiness. And in it, just some different things about the mind, secret to a happier life, things about life, the parenting paradox, can money buy happiness, all that stuff. And then it talks about the spirit, The art of being present. Does spirituality make us happy? The power of gratitude, states of happiness, things like that. And so I got this, and it reads not like a book. It reads like a magazine. So my style, right, the reason I like magazines is because I like to read them backwards, right? I love it. I love reading backwards, and just look at that. The geography of happiness, right? Just different things like that. And it's just a simple magazine, but it just hit me like a lightning bolt. Some of the information I got from this, just from flipping through pages and looking at some graphs. I actually started reading it and getting into it, and I really value it. And so it's funny because I was talking to Pastor Mike and Pastor Adonia just like a week ago, and they said that they were going to be out of town and they were planning to do a video sermon, and they were going to play this sermon, and I was asking them about that. I said, what's the topic? And they said, purpose. And I was like, whoa, right? I'm reading, The Art of Being Present, right? I'm learning about the power of mental, like the strength of the mind, right? This kind of stuff. Then the science behind it, like actual doctors. It's very cool. And really understanding my purpose. And then they say that they won't be here, and I said, I want to do it. So I volunteered. And so let's do this. I want to just define purpose because that word gets used a lot, and so I just want us to kind of be on the same concept, right? And it's the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Also, a person's sense of resolve or determination. Purpose. Other words that would describe purpose: determination, resolution, resolve, steadfastness, backbone, drive, push, enthusiasm, ambition, motivation, commitment, conviction, dedication. When I read those words, how do you feel? I feel good. Just reading that out loud, I feel good. Those are good words. They do something for me. And yet they're just words. And so when we look at purpose, and we look at motivation, and we look at determination and resolve, what do we see? What does a person with resolve look like? Happy? Determined? Confident? Focused. Can you see focus? Sometimes, right? Maybe in someone's analysis and decision making, right? You see they can make a decision, or they can analyze something very cool. They're very focused, right? They're confident. I heard confidence, right? You see people. What does confidence physically look like? Maybe like this. Maybe that's arrogance, right? But you can, so these kinds of emotions will play the physical body, right? They'll play the physical body a certain way. And yet, when I look into a room, I can't tell who's more confident, who are the confident people. I don't see who really feels, I can't say that, wow, you have so much purpose. You're really driven right now. Right? Do you see? It's very hard to see purpose, to see drive, to see steadfastness, unless you get a whiff of it in maybe the nonverbal behavior of the body reacting to the mental state. Right? So, you got purpose? Purpose sounds good, right? It sounds good. Resolve, backbone. Who doesn't like that word? If someone said, oh, Dave Stein, he's got backbone, I would be, I do? That feels good. I got backbone, right? I do stuff, right? I got drive. I got enthusiasm. But those are all the feelings that it takes to take that step. Can you turn those lights down? I just want everyone to see where you're going. Thanks, Mark. Because it looks like there's nothing out there. I just want everyone to know there is nothing out there. Can you see that? Right? But to have purpose, to have drive, to have backbone, to have enthusiasm, you can't see the finish line. Right? To have drive, to have motivation, you have to, those are all words that describe people who challenge themselves, doesn't it? Doesn't that describe people who challenge themselves? Who challenge their limitations, who live outside of their comfort zones? Right? Someone who's motivated, right? Someone who has purpose and drive, they're doing things that challenge themselves constantly. So it feels good, but it doesn't look good, right? It feels good afterwards to be like, wow, I'm successful. I'm doing something. I'm following my purpose. But right before that feeling is what? The feeling of having to get out of bed. Right? The feeling of starting, that like, oh, just laying in bed. I deserve this. Amen? You guys know what I'm talking about? And so we see things like this. I Googled this and I got, everyone has purpose. And there's a guy looking out, right? Hands in his pockets, like contemplation. That's what I see there. I see a man contemplating, right? Hands in his pockets, shoulders are kind of like just comfortable. And he's contemplating. Everyone has purpose. And everyone has fingernails. Do you see it? Like, what is it about purpose? What is it about that? What is that? He's looking out into nothing. Like that. And like that. But everyone has this purpose. And yet we can't define what purpose is. It's out there. We have to find it. Right? So how do we find it? Right? So if we have purpose and we feel good and enthusiastic, and you know what? How good does it feel to not want to get out of bed and then get out of bed and get dressed and get to work and actually do that thing you had to do and getting it done? It feels good, right? Why is that hard? What's the opposite of purpose? Distraction, right? I looked up the antonym to purpose, and it was accident, right? Because you don't do something on purpose, or purpose accident. But I feel like, in time, distraction is actually going to be the opposite of purpose. Because distraction is, let's define it. Distraction is a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. Amusement, entertainment, a diversion, recreation, leisure. What does that look like? Huh? Staying in bed? What else? Watching TV? Procrastinating, right? Could I see somebody? It's hard for me to see purpose. Can I see distraction? I see distraction right there. Sorry, that was part of my sermon, so you just happened to be the right person. She was on her phone. I'm sure it's important, right? Obviously, right? There's something there it's okay. It's just fun. So, but it's easy to identify distraction. Distraction happens in a time and a space. Right? Follow me on that. I know it might be a little abstract. But our bodies, to be distracted, we're doing something. Or in fact, we're doing nothing. We're just distracted. We're letting our mind wander. We just Who likes to channel surf as much as me? Anyone else channel surf? I guess now it's just Facebook video, right? Next video. And it's always the next one is like something totally irrelevant, but just fits exactly, I like that video, right? You keep watching the video. But what's going on? What's the point? What's the purpose? Right? But it's very clear when you're distracted, and right, and then you get up after a few hours of that and you go to do something, and it's hard to stay focused, hard to find motivation, hard to, right, be enthusiastic because we're distracted. Distraction is our body controlling our mind. Purpose is our mind controlling our body. Who identifies to distract? Is that a distraction? Work is a distraction, right? But you know what I see? You know what I see when I see this picture? I see time-sensitive urgency. There's a lot of things he has to do right now. In this time, it's causing him high levels of anxiety and stress. Is that not also distraction? No judgment. No judgment. Right. But that's distraction. Where are they? Where are they? Are they living with purpose? In this moment, in that time, in that space? Time and space is important. It's very, very important to understand about the concept of time and space because it's how we understand where we are now. We've all turned off our phones, right? We're all here, present, in this moment together, in this room. We are not connected outside of this community. And yet, I can hit a button. Bing. We all hit that one button, ding, and we're everywhere. We can be anywhere. We don't even have to be here. We can physically be here, but we can be anywhere we want. And so, to understand time and space, to understand that concept of distraction, where the body wants to just chill. Who's ever just done nothing all day? And the day just goes by. And then all of a sudden it's like the sun, it's like 4 o'clock and you're finally kind of going outside and you're like, man, I missed today, but oh, it was so good. But who's done that for 3 days straight? Who's done it for a week? Let's go. Who got me a beat on a week? Anyway, but like just chilling, right? And all of a sudden the days just go by and the time, where did it go? And what's the point? And so you get into that kind of mode that maybe where we find, different things, maybe depression or other things. But we also have that as a distraction, just a vacation, just letting go, not thinking about anything, not worrying about anything beyond myself, just focusing. It's me time. It's me time. I need me time while I'm driving to work, and I need me time while I'm driving home, and I need me time while I take a poop, and I need me time while I'm at work, and I need me, right? Constantly distracting ourselves, constantly finding areas to let our spirits sleep. Because our spirits do not understand time and space, do they? The mind doesn't, it can conceptualize because of our physical body that it understands that I need to be here, but the mind can go where? It's our bridge to go find our spirit. Right? Because our spirit can wander. My spirit isn't just like chained to my physical leg, right? And it just, right? Or my spirit's like in me physically, right? That's not happening, right? But our spirit, right? Our soul, we have a connection. And how do we speak to our spirit? Right? By living outside of ourselves, by challenging our bodies. By challenging our bodies, by putting ourselves in situations of stress and anxiety, or not necessarily anxiety, but in a position of stress or having responsibility, being accountable, doing things that are outside of our comfort zone because it's benefiting somebody else. That concept of living outside of ourselves for somebody else. That's what you'll find in motivated people. That's what you find in enthusiastic people. An enthusiastic person goes out of his way to say, hey, David, good morning. I'm enthusiastic, right? But saying good morning to you, right, it's like living outside of ourselves. And we put our bodies as number 2. And we call to our spirit. I know it might sound very abstract, right? But we call to our spirit and we say, come closer to this body. Come to this space. Because the spirit's like, where, what? But when we live with purpose, when we live with determination, right? These are the kinds of things that it takes to truly go down the levels of love. To understand a deeper levels of love, we must be determined, right? We must be motivated. Y'all are married, right? How long y'all been married? Yeah, there we go. Congratulations, that's phenomenal. Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but the light's coming right in on you right now. I can see you. And so 82 puts that at 40 plus, 50, 36, thank you. Okay, that's bad. Wow, that's great. So, you guys ever get close to divorce? Can I pick on you just a little bit? Ever get close? Ever have a fight? Disagreement? Anyone ever go to bed angry? Let's start there. Yeah. Amen. Amen. That's right. That's right. That's phenomenal. I really am proud to hear it. I'm happy that we have such a long-lasting couple here. That's phenomenal. So, but there's struggle, right? But you guys are so happy together, right? But that took breaking through those levels of like time when you can't just be in love forever. You have to be out of love to find it again. You have to struggle to find it again, right? And you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And that takes conviction, that takes drive, that takes motivation, that takes determination, right? To put in that effort to love, because that's the point. The point of purpose is to love. It's the way to love. And by loving with purpose, by doing things with purpose, with motivation, with steadfastness, our spirit understands that language of love. It understands going outside of ourselves. It knows what that is. And so when we challenge our bodies, right? When we make our bodies the object and our minds the subject, we think more clearly, we're more focused, we're more confident. These different things start to happen to us. But really it's a challenge, it's work. That is work. That's not easy. And so we find our spirit, right? And our spirit who doesn't understand time and space, can you imagine if a spirit doesn't want to be found, right? No time, no space, you're anywhere. It doesn't understand travel distance, right? Driving here, right? Which is a perfect place to be distracted. Right? I saw this slide recently from Dr. Hendrick, and he put it up, and he said, this could be a place, right? Dreams, where dreams may come. Has anyone seen that movie? All right, Robin Williams. Like this idea of spirit world being like, where people come and go, and you're close. God is God, right? God is love. He's light, right? And we choose how close to God we want to be. But the closer to God we get, the more transparent we become, and we have shame. And we have guilt. And we have things that we don't want people to know. So we don't want to get that close to God. Right? So we have to, right, find salvation. Amen? And so a spirit that wants to be lost and left alone like a hermit in this dried lake bed out in the middle of nowhere can be there. And we have souls and spirits that happens, right? Think about someone suffering from depression. Right? This is why we teach about suicide being so detrimental. Because you put yourself in a position where you don't want anything. You cut yourself off from everything, and your spirit is lost. until it can forgive itself, right? That's why self-forgiveness is so crucial. Because by we forgiving ourselves, then we allow us to be in a position for others to forgive us, and we can grow and become closer to God. And so we have purpose and we have distraction. And so I want to read this to you. This is coming from the founders of our church, Reverend and Mrs. Sum Young Moon. And this is coming from a book that was recently published by True Mother. We call them our true parents because their ideology is really about family, and that love comes in the form of a family. And you know, the family is a school of love, and that's where you learn to love, is in your family. You learn different levels of love, grandparents or parents, brother, sister, this kind of thing. You learn how to interact and relate on very long levels, right? And breaking through all those barriers so that when you get married, you're able to do it again and then have children and teach them how to grow that level of love. And so it talks about it like this. This is what he says. The mind is in the position of the plus in heaven's stead, and yet the body has established itself wrongly as another plus and is pushing and pulling the mind. During our lifetime, we have a duty to correct this situation. During our lifetime, we have a duty to correct this situation. Knowing this, God created religion as a repair shop for this purpose. For this reason, religion, and you may find this throughout different religions. For this reason, religion teaches people to strike the body through fasting or through sacrificing for and serving others, thereby compelling the body to submit to the mind. Did you guys catch that? Do we find self-sacrifice or fasting in religions coast to coast all over the world? Do we find living for others and serving others coast to coast all throughout the world? Because the religion, the church, you come here as a place where you're going outside of yourself, getting out of bed on a Sunday morning. Someone said it, right? This morning was a challenge. But getting out of bed, putting on clothes, coming and worshiping, that's living outside yourself. You're awakening. It's why when you come to church, you can feel inspired because you started your morning by awakening your spirit and coming close to God. And so this is why we have religion, right? So when we strike the body through fasting, right, we awaken our spirit. We come closer to our spirit because we're living with purpose, right? And the fasting, all the fasting does is creates a situation where you want to eat. Your body wants to eat, but you have to constantly tell your body, no, you can't have it. Don't eat it, right? Has anyone done a fast? Like a daylight fast? Anyone do a full 24 hours before? Okay, wow. Anyone do longer than 24 hours? Okay, all right. There's a few of y'all out there. That's good. But wow, I mean, it's at first, it hurts. But then you become like laser line. Like you're focused. And so I should tell you that Cinco de Mayo, I was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico with my wife on our 16-year anniversary, which was on April 27th. And I was 195 pounds. And now I'm 175 pounds. And it's been like just about 90 days. Thank you. Thanks, Asak. And a lot of that was because I was talking to one of my brothers here, Byron Yoder, and we were talking about intermittent fasting, and he said something to me because he was there. And he said to me, I like that feeling of hunger. I can be full whenever I want, but it takes time to be hungry. Wow. I can be full in 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. But I can't be hungry in 10. That takes time, that hunger, that feeling. And then I had a realization. When I did 1 year of service in our church, when you graduate high school, year of service, right? Fundraising and witnessing and different activities, service projects, things like that. I can tell you, I did a lot of fasts. And I can also acknowledge to you right now that I cheated on every single one of them. Isn't that funny? But that is something, I'm 37 years old. This happened when I was 18, and it's only today that I can make the acknowledgement. I held that as my shame. I had shame and guilt. But when I was on the fast and I was fundraising and witnessing, and I was like, man, 2 for $2 hot dogs at 7-Eleven, I'm so hungry. 25-cent Nutter bars. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, right? And so I felt, and I'd come back and people were like, oh, and I'd do my fast, and that's the most painful part is at the end I received the comments. Oh, wow, you did a fast. Oh, wow. And I sat there and let receive that. Right? So much guilt. But now I've forgiven myself. It took 18 years. I've forgiven myself, and now I can talk about it. But that's the point. That seems silly, but that was a weight on my spirit, keeping me away from God. Because I had guilt and shame. I haven't forgiven myself. I haven't just opened up about it. And when Byron said that, I had that realization. And I said, I get hangry. When I get hungry, I get hangry. I get mad. And I realized I get upset. I get irritable. I get a certain way because I choose to. And I use hunger as the excuse. If I wasn't hungry, I wouldn't act this way. But really, I can choose not to act that way. It's just harder. I just have to be more focused. I have to be living with a higher purpose. Because me in that mode, I'm hungry. I want to eat some. Get away, I'm at my coffee. Right? We either are relating to this or we know exactly who we're thinking about, right? Somebody, right? Somebody's thinking. And so to live hungry, to be hungry, I'm not saying starving ourselves and being unhealthy about it. I'm just saying to have hunger is your mind subjugating your body constantly. Constantly you want to eat and you tell your body no. And if there was a faster way to subjugate my body, I would do it. But not eating is a quick way to let your body know who's in charge. And you become distracted less. When I'm hungry, it creates energy because mentally I'm constantly subjugating, constantly mentally in charge, constantly telling myself what not to. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. And so then you start focusing. I need to go do something else, and you become productive. If you just start lounging around watching TV, you're going to eat. Or at least I will. And so I find that when I did this for the last 90 days, and that's why I'm still processing, okay? I said at the beginning, we're still processing. But when I realized this and I started fasting, I wasn't fasting like I would basically, I'm not, when I say fasting, I'm like basically eating like a meal a day kind of thing, right? No carbs, no sugar, that, dieting, right? But limited amounts of food. So I can go a whole day now. If I don't eat, I'm okay. It doesn't really bug me because I enjoy it. It became my power. Hunger became, I would go like this. I would text Byron, oh, I feel power. It's my power, the hunger. I'm in charge right now. My body is number 2 and my mind is number 1. And what am I going to do? Who am I? And you know what that turned into? No Facebook, no Instagram, no news apps, no games. Nothing. And I should also tell you, I found out anyway, I literally went and unfriended every single person on Facebook. And then someone told me I should have just inactivated my account because I just pissed everyone off because they all think now I'm not friends with them. And I didn't say that I'm coming off. I just went and just disconnected. I have one friend, and it's my little brother, Will. I kept one friend. But everyone else is gone. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't watch TV. And this is, mind you, 60 days, right? It's not like I've been doing this for a while. And then I'm challenging myself to limit my distractions. What happens as soon as I'm on an app for too long? Delete it. And now I'm down to nothing. And I'm limiting my ability to distract myself. And I sit in my room, right? And I have just what I have. It's me. What am I going to do? That's what I ask myself. Who am I right now? I can do anything. What do I choose to do? And it's phenomenal, actually. Limiting all my distractions, getting rid of everything. I feel awake. And so, I do want to give you some of the science, and then I'll end. Who's heard of neuroplasticity? Cool, right? I haven't found this in the dictionary. I think that's how fresh this is, right? Neuroplasticity, level up. So, neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to change throughout an individual's life. That seems pretty easy. For example, brain activity associated with a given function can be transferred to a different location. The proportion of gray matter can change, and the synapses may strengthen or weaken over time. This is what this means. Our brains don't stop developing. That crucial time that we thought happened during childhood, because all of a sudden you're like 2 feet and now you're 4 feet, and like you know, whoever has kids, you know, you're like looking at they start looking at their hands at some point and realizing, oh, that's connected to my body, right? That level of like mental brain activity is so high, and we think, oh, once your body matures, your brain is mature and you know what you know and you've learned what you've learned. Guess what we're finding out right now? The brain activity for any given function can change. The gray matter is basically what helps us with like function, emotion, our ability to like move and do, you know, it's basically our brain, right? And the synapses, it says, so the proportion of gray matter can change from one area of the brain to the other, right? So people who lose a function can change their mind and use that brain activity for something else, and they can excel. We've seen examples of that, right? And so the synapses may strengthen or weaken over time. Synapses is basically where the neurological pathways, right? We know that our brains are basically electricity, and there's these electric pulses going, right? Ding, 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 and connecting. That's the synapses. That bing, the neurological transmitter, bing, how it does that can be remapped. Right? So when we talk about brainwashing, or we talk about like people who live in like POW camps or something for long periods of time, and their minds change, or something happens, right? Post-traumatic stress, right? Things that happen to us can rewire. That we can actually do, and we can do it in our adult life. Research in the latter half of the 20th century showed that many aspects of the brain can be altered, even through adulthood. This notion is in contrast with the previous scientific consensus that the brain develops during a critical period in early childhood and then remains relatively unchanged. That's new. Isn't that cool? So my sermon today was titled Changed Mind. Changed Minds. And in this world of distraction, in this world of social media, in this world of information overload, and we can be everywhere and do anything. I don't even have to get out of bed to have McDonald's. Right? Special request, doors unlocked, come inside. In this kind of world that we live, how easy is it for the body to be the subject and to let our minds not wander, but just relax. Just go to the next video. Just be like, right? We all look at the zombie, right? But there's something so comforting about just zoning out. I call it the nothing box. If you guys know Mark Gungor, marriage comedian and educator, just top-notch guy. He talks about the nothing. That's where I got the nothing box from. I need to credit him because he had a very big impact on me, the fact that I got married when I was 20. And everyone said I was crazy and too young. And now when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was crazy. I was too young. But he had a big impact on me. He talks about the nothing box. Being there it's like, it's healthy. But if we go there all the time, when do we ever focus? How hard is it to like turn that page and then get into like, okay, now it's time to work, right? And we wonder why we don't get anything done. Or I wonder why I don't get anything done, I should say. And so we limit our distractions. We live with purpose, something outside of ourselves, and we connect to our spirit. And so I invite you to breathe, invite your spirit, clear your mind, right? That's why meditation, we find meditation, right? If anyone who's known me for any longer than like 3 years or something, like 3 years ago, I would thought meditation was so ridiculous and ludicrous, and it's like, I imagine like Tibetan monks, right? Or like hippies, right? That's really, I got to be honest, that's my level with meditation. That might insult some of you or offend some of you because of how important meditation is. But really, when I have no distractions, when I'm literally sitting in a room, and guys, by the way, I travel. I leave on Mondays and I come back on Fridays, and I'll be on 4 airplanes, 4 rental cars, and 4 cities. Monday, Orlando. Tuesday, Nashville. Wednesday, Dallas. Thursday, Phoenix. Friday, Vegas, and then Denver home. And I have like 1 million Southwest points. Literally. So what am I doing? By myself. All alone. Sitting in a hotel room. Trying not to distract myself. And I don't. I've been successful. I enjoy it. And so I breathe. I sit there and breathe. And I think about, what do I want to do? Who am I going to be? And I start reading things like this. And for me, I have to eliminate every distraction because reading is so difficult for me that it literally has to be the only thing I can do. And then it becomes valuable enough to read. That's where I'm at. That's literally, I can acknowledge that. That's where I'm at. I'm uneducated. I lack the skill set. I didn't graduate high school. I never went to college. And part of that is because I can't center myself to focus, to just read. And even when I read, I'm thinking about other things. But breathing, being present, not distracting myself has opened a whole new door for me, a whole new world. And now to know that I don't have to say I'm not educated and I'm not good at reading because of what? Because I'm choosing that. And by eliminating my distractions, and by living with purpose, right? I'm changing my mind. My neurological pathways are changing right now. That's why I'm in this process. And I don't know where I'll end up. And I may gain 20 pounds in the next 90 days. Let's just be real. Right? But I lost a bunch of weight, and I've been heavy since ever. And I'm still, I got a little, it's still there. I'm not afraid. I'm okay. That's what I'm realizing. Who am I? This is who I am. Who are you? So, I just want to close with the idea that religion is not set in stone. It evolves. And as we connect virtual reality, augmented reality, all these different things that are coming, if we use that to distract our minds, to just blah, we'll see our society deteriorate. But if we can use that technology that is beyond time and space and put our bodies in a position to transfer, right? Through virtual reality, they're talking about airplane pilots being able to fly planes without ever getting on the plane. That's real. I think that was already happening in the 80s when another Robin Williams movie called Toy. If anyone knows that movie. They were doing that. And so, sorry, I got distracted. And I'm finishing right now. And so if we can use that, if we can put our bodies in a place to understand the time and space, right, and know the boundaries beyond it, and we use that with a purpose, right, I think we see great strides. So I encourage everyone to limit distractions, right? And please join me in prayer. Dearest, most beloved Heavenly Parent, thank you, God, for being here with us and allowing us to acknowledge you in this time. Heavenly Father, we are indebted to you for what you've given us, this puzzle of life, this interconnectedness of relationships, and how you've made it so complex. Different levels, different angles of love, different ways to understand, different levels of empathy and charity and generosity and hope and freedom. These different emotions that drive us. And yet at the same time, through the fall of man, we have unhealthy desires. We have shame and guilt. We have things that weigh us down from being productive, from being efficient, from being close to you, and we hide behind our shame and guilt, Heavenly Father, and we want to tell you that we want to be open to you, open to your love, and open to your guidance, and we call our spirit to live close to us, and we will subjugate our body, we will make our body number two, to show our spirit how serious we are, that we want to be close, so that we can hear when you speak, that quiet voice of our original mind, of our conscience, that we can hear that voice. It's soft words guiding us. So I pray that we keep our minds clear and focused. We keep our bodies healthy and strong. And we do it with you at the forefront. I pray all this in my name, David Sign of Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Aren't we so lucky to have David Stein in our community? Absolutely. Thank you, David. Thank you for being so focused and so clear and so honest. I loved all of his stories, and no shame, really, no shame when you come to church and when you hang out with our community. Put it all out there because we'll love you anyway, and we'll all level up together, right? So I want to have everybody take a moment and reflect on what you've heard. We're going to have a reflection and offering and tithing time. We're going to have our two welcome ladies in the back walk down the center aisle, our two ushers. So please take a moment, close your eyes, think about everything that David said, and if you'd like to give your offering at this time, now is your opportunity to do so, and then we'll close out in prayer and our band to finish out our program today. So please close your eyes, think about what you heard, and please feel free to offer your tithe as well. Thank you. So we have a couple announcements here we're going to transition to before our sermon. The first one is that our pastors, Pastor Mike and Adonia, are giving the Who Are We presentation. And whether you're a new or longtime member, everybody is welcome to join to attend a short presentation around who we are, where we're going, and our vision for the future of our community. So this presentation will be given by Pastor Mike in the French ministry room in the cafe, and that's going to be next Sunday. So they do it every other Sunday, and this one's going to be next Sunday. And I see a couple confused faces because you're probably wondering, where is Pastor Adonia and Pastor Mike? They're currently in Missouri because, as we know, and as Pastor Adonia has shared so many times, she recently completed a 350-mile plus kayak race. And she not only finished successfully, but she came in 7th place and 7 hours at a time. So let's give them a lot of extra energy and applause. Pastor Adonia often speaks about what an incredible life experience this race is for her, and we want to support them in all their life goals, and so that's where they are right now. Our next announcement is around Bible study. Every Thursday, Dr. Hendrick leads Bible study at 7 p.m. here in the cafe. And every week there's new topics for everybody to come and discuss and to gain a deeper understanding of the Bible. So if Dr. Hendrick is in this room, just wave your hand right over here. He's our Bible expert. Thank you, Dr. Hendrick. Yeah, we could give him a round of applause for putting on such great events like this. Absolutely. And on the theme of education, we have some very exciting events going on around the Divine Principle. As we know, the Divine Principle is the core book of our faith, and we have workshops for new members or existing members who want to deepen their faith and understanding, and that's at Las Vegas at the International Peace Education Center. And if anybody is interested in attending, please let the pastors know. These workshops offer a very high quality experience and a great opportunity to focus on understanding who we are and what the Divine Principle offers to us in our lives. So there's 4-day experiences and there's also 7-day experiences. So please feel free to either mark your calendars or think of others who might want to attend as well. And then our last announcement today is we want to thank sincerely the families who have helped make lunch as we speak to prepare it for us later on today. The upcoming week volunteers are Roger Furher, who will be cooking lunch, and the Alves family. And we currently want to thank the Heppel family, who is cooking and cleaning today. So let's give them a round of applause and appreciation. Absolutely. I just want to give all of our volunteers every week a special thank you, because this is really what it's all about, right? Putting your faith and service into action each and every week to make church and this experience such a success. So I want to thank you if you're the audience who have volunteered and who are thinking about volunteering. It's a great way to give back. Wonderful.